Want to know what's happening in the magic lore, but don't have time to read it yourself? I got you covered. Here's a quick TLDR of a story of Innistrad Midnight Hunt. Innistrad has never been a safe plane, but recently it's been getting worse. Ever since the events of Shadows over Innistrad about 2 years ago, it's been getting colder, nights have been getting longer, and food is getting harder to find. Arlen Court has been doing what she can to help. We begin our story in the Kessig Woods looking for a witch. After spending 3/4 of the story going over how Arlen became a werewolf, we find the witch Catilda at the Celestis. No one alive knows what the Celestis was used for, but witches and druids have been using it as a ritual site since the ancient days of Innistrad. Catilda tells Arlen they are planning on gathering as many people as they can during the Harvest Tide, a celebration of defying the odds and living another year. Catilda believes that the more people they gather, the better chance they have at stopping the long night. Catilda is then interrupted by a howl from the woods. Arlen recognizes this howl. It is the howl of the werewolf that turned her. It is the howl of Torvar. Torvar has a history of being, let's say, unstable. Arlen is afraid he's going to massacre everyone at the Celestis, so she transforms into her wolf form and runs out to meet him. Torvar explains to her that his pack is going to take full advantage of the long night, take what they want, hunt whomever they want, or whatever they want. Arlen sees where this is going and prepares for a fight. But before she could strike, her pack abandons her side and joins Torvar. Torvar tells her that this is her last warning, either join with them or become prey. Beaten and betrayed, Arlen returns to Catilda, where she finishes explaining what is needed, the Moon Silver Key. With the key and the Celestis, she can restore balance to the day-night cycle on Innistrad. Realizing she might need help, Arlen sneaks off to Ravnica to meet up with the Gatewatch. After explaining what is happening on the plane, Teferi, Kaya, and Chandra agree to help. They return to Innistrad and head towards Thraben to look for clues on the Moon Silver Key. During the Battle of Thraben 2 years ago, Liliana Vess had risen an army of zombies to fight the Eldrazi. After they had won and sealed Emrakul in the moon, Liliana told the locals that the zombies were their problem now. Our party arrives in Thraben after a week of traveling to find it abandoned and, shocker, infested with zombies. Their only clue to find the Moon Silver Key is a surname, Betzold, and the last Arlen had heard was there was a priest with that name in the city. The Gatewatch spread out and eventually find him, or what remains of him. Now I can go into detail what happens next, but it's not really pertinent to the story. It's just giving background on a legendary creature that 3 people play. So all you really need to know is that the family eventually sold the key to Soren Markov because reasons. So the Gatewatch head off to Markov Manor to retrieve the key. When they arrive, Soren refuses to give them a key. He also gets pissed when they bring up Avacyn and attacks. Sigarda Deus Ex Machinas into the building and blocks the attack, then tells them where exactly to find the key and tells them to go quickly as she needs to have a conversation with Soren. The party finds the key and makes a run for it. Word gets back to Olivia Voldaren that the humans are trying to fix the balance of day and night using the Moon Silver Key. She tells her minions not to disrupt them, quote, never interrupt someone when they're doing the work for you. Meanwhile, Arlen and friends return to the Celestis. Everyone is feasting, drinking, and being merry. But this being Innistrad, you know this doesn't end well. Howling echoes throughout the forest surrounding the Celestis as Tolvar's pack storms the festival. Arlen and company jump into action to protect the people. She tells Kaya to give the key to Catilda and start the ritual. She turns to Teferi, and he says he will try and buy everyone time as he begins to slow the sunset. Not sure why they're doing this, but they need to give him a reason why they named the card that way, so there you go. While the rest of the Gatewatch deal with the werewolves, Arlen goes to find Torvar. She pleads with him to call off the raid, but he refuses, saying it's us or it's them, always has been. Arlen attacks in human form, trying to hold off transforming to prove she is stronger than that, but isn't able to. As the sun sets for the last time on Innistrad, Arlen transforms. Arlen and Torvar are in a fight to the death. Even now, Torvar is still trying to convince Arlen to join him. Arlen puts up a fight, but Torvar is stronger. Bloodied and broken, Arlen is able to get out 2 words, I'm home. Torvar, taking this as Arlen embracing the inner wolf, trots over to Arlen to help her up. Seizing on the opportunity, Arlen drives her claws into Torvar's chest. As Torvar dies, she whispers, Innistrad is my home, Torvar. As long as I breathe, I will protect it. Now call off the attack. Somehow with Arlen's claws still inside of him, he manages to howl, sounding the retreat. Arlen returns to the Celestis. The survivors have little time to mourn the dead as the ritual is already underway. Just as the ritual nears completion, Olivia Voldaren swoops down and grabs Catilda, hoisting her into the sky with her. Olivia's deal is simple, Catilda for the key. No other witch in the coven knows the ritual, so without anyone else to complete it, Arlen does the only sensible thing and tosses Olivia the key. In response, Olivia lets Catilda go from 50 feet above the ground, using her full strength. Arlen tries to break the fall, but it doesn't matter. Catilda is mush and the Moonsilver key is gone. With no one left to complete the ritual, the Gatewatch sit there in utter defeat as eternal night sets in over Innistrad. Thank you everyone for watching and bearing with me while I continue to tune this series. If you have any other ideas on what you want to see different, let me know in the comments. Check back soon for the conclusion of the Innistrad story, Crimson Vow.